Good afternoon, everyone. We're so glad to have you here at the Landmarks Illinois annual meeting. I just wanted to let you know that we are still having our attendees coming online, so we're going to wait just a couple of minutes. But again, as you're coming on, welcome everyone who's joining us, and we're very excited to have you here. I'm Bonnie McDonald, and I'm the President and CEO of Landmarks Illinois. And we're going to begin our presentation shortly. We're so pleased to have you, and we're going to keep this to an hour. We're going to keep it tight today so that we can get you through your lunch hour and then get you back to whatever you were doing. As I said, we're going to wait just a couple of minutes to allow our guests to sign in. So give us just a few moments to let everybody in. And I want to note that the webinar is being recorded, so you can see it later if you would like to, and it's also on Facebook Live. So for those who are joining us on Facebook Live, welcome. We're glad to have you here. Now, again, until we get fully started, I'm going to give a big pitch to everybody to go to our website, which is landmarks.org, where you're going to find a plethora of information, and several of the things that we're going to mention today you will be able to find on our website. So again, that's landmarks.org. And we're going to kick off the annual meeting today with a short video that sums up our 50 years of preserving places in Illinois. Frank Butterfield, the director of our Springfield office, is queuing up that video right now. So we're going to start that in March. So those who didn't, we just were happy to show you this wonderful video that captures 50 years in 5 minutes. For best viewing, everybody, and to optimize the streaming, we would suggest that you close any running programs or documents that are in your background. So if you're not using it and you have the ability, close it, because you'll have a better viewing of the video. And also, the best way to watch this video, if you have trouble with it, is just to go later to YouTube. You can see this timeline video as well as other productions that we have had, again, on Landmarks Illinois' YouTube page. We have also, we're also suggesting, not that you all haven't been on Zoom plenty of times at this point, but just in case, we're going to suggest that you optimize your view of the Zoom webinar by clicking on the speaker view during the presentation. And if you would like to turn off the closed captioning, you can also do that too. We make closed captioning available to improve the accessibility of our programs, but if you find it to be distracting and you don't need it, all you have to do is go to the live transcript icon, which is in the bottom of your screen, and click hide, and it'll hide the closed captioning for you. So with that, we're again pleased to have you at our Landmarks Illinois 50th annual meeting, and we're going to get started with this video right now. So thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sandra Rand, the chair of Landmarks Illinois' Board of Directors, and welcome to our 50th annual meeting. This is clearly a milestone, 50 years of saving places for people. I hope that you enjoyed watching this intro video that shares just some of the highlights from our first 5 decades of service. We are so excited to tell you today more about our plans for the next 50 years of preservation in Illinois. But first, let's get through the business at hand. I officially hereby call the 50th annual Landmarks Illinois business meeting to order. First up is our board member election. Landmarks Illinois is led by a volunteer board of up to 37 members who govern, set policy, and ensure that we achieve our strategic vision to help people save places for people. I am pleased to introduce our vice chair, Gary Anderson, who led this year's board development committee and will introduce our excellent roster of candidates for the upcoming year. Gary?
Thank you, Sandra. I want to begin by thanking the Board Development Committee volunteers for their help in selecting these candidates. You can find all the candidates' bios on our website, which we posted this last week. The website also included information on how members could nominate a board candidate for consideration. We received no candidate names from the membership, so the slate of candidates stands as presented. The following are members for renomination to the board. For election to their third 2-year term, Jean Follett of Wheaton and Jack Trivia of Frankfort. For election for their second 2-year term, Peter Bobayan of Wilmette, Anthony Borich of Chicago, Tracy Dillard of Cobden, Chris Lee of Chicago, Brad Moeller of Chicago, Jeff Pisa of Evanston, Sandra Rand of Chicago, and Ziad Salome of Milwaukee, and Will Tippins of Highland Park. The next slate of newly nominated board members for election for their first 2-year term include Joe Antinovich of Chicago, Sierra Boatwright of Chicago, Jeff Goulet of Chicago, Dr. Stacy Grundy of Springfield, Jackie Taylor Holston of Hinsdale after serving a partial term, and Evan Yan of Chicago, Gregory Miller of Chicago, and Lauren Picaccio of Gary, Indiana, Jennifer Spence of Carterville, and Sarah Van Damlin of Chicago. And members Sandra Rand and Bonnie McDonald have made a motion to approve and seconded the slate of candidates as presented. The Landmarks members here today are now asked to vote on the candidates. These are our members in good standing, which means that your annual member dues are current. Please vote by responding to the poll on your Zoom screen by clicking yes, no, or abstain. Please vote now, and we will pause for 15 to 20 seconds to allow votes to be counted. After you voted, please click submit, and we'll be sharing the voting results for you on the screen. So go ahead and vote. Has everybody had a chance to vote? The yeses have it, and the slate of candidates is officially approved by the membership. Members can now click on the X on their Zoom screen to close out the poll. The members have voted to accept the slate as presented. Welcome to our new and returning board members. For information of our members, the Landmark Illinois Board of Directors approved the following officers at its June 15th meeting. Chair is Sandra Rand. Vice Chair is Allison Talamo. President and CEO Bonnie McDonald. General Counsel Kathleen Swain. Secretary Erica Block, and Treasurer Terry Salas. I want to thank the board members who are departing or sunsetting. To ensure fresh perspectives, we require board members to sunset for at least 1 year after serving 3 consecutive terms. This is an especially difficult year for us to see the following dedicated members leave the board. Lee Brown has served as secretary on the executive committee and as chair of the reinvestment committee. Frida Ireland has served as treasurer on the executive committee, finance committee, and as chair of the resource redevelopment or development committee. Joshua Friedland has served on the executive committee and as chair of the preservation issues committee. Tim Friends has been our chair of the finance committee, as well as serving on the executive committee and the RBIC committee. Cheryl Thomas served on the executive committee and as co-chair of the legendary Landmark Celebration Host Committee. Blair Todd has served on the board development committee. And I will be sunsetting off the board after 2 years as vice chair on board development committee chair, and also serving on the executive committee. Thank you to all of my fellow sunsetting board members for your years of service to this organization. This concludes my portion of the business presentation. Now let me introduce Will Tippins, a former Landmarks Illinois board chair who has served for the past 16 months in the critical role of chair of our 50th anniversary task force. Welcome, Will.
Thanks, Gary. And hello to everybody on this webcast. It's great to be here with all of you, at least virtually. So as you've heard, 2021 marks our 50th anniversary as an organization. And as an organization, we saw this anniversary year as an opportunity not to just reflect on our past, but to look forward. And we're dedicated to creating a preservation organization that is inclusive, diverse, and equitable, and relevant for another 50 years. We started this task force back in 2019 by gathering more than 30 individuals representing different perspectives, including skill sets, age, race, location, and views on preservation. This became our 50th anniversary task force, and you will see that the task force members over the next few slides. Over the last nearly year and a half, the task force met to discuss topics focused on justice, inclusion, equity, and diversity, as well as housing, available preservation incentives, and government regulations. This was really an extraordinarily engaging process that included a lot of debate, dialogue, and ultimately led to the creation of a document that's called Landmarks Illinois' Guiding Principles. The Guiding Principles will serve as our code of conduct and help us shape our future goals, decisions, and objectives. These will also keep us accountable to the people that we serve. If you haven't already, we ask you to read and consider the Guiding Principles in full, which can be found on our website on the About Us page. These principles are meant to be aspirational and are not set in stone. They are meant to be dynamic and to evolve. And we know that they will be certainly reevaluated and certainly within a 5-year time frame. We will also implement the principles incrementally as having thoughtful dialogue about reshaping our programs to reflect them. The 50th anniversary task force, our board, staff, and committees have voiced support for these principles. And we realize that some of the audience may feel that they're long overdue, and others may be unsure about how they actually relate to preservation. We want all of our community to have the opportunity to ask questions, to interrogate these ideas, ask about their being put into practice, and what it will mean for preservation statewide. What we ultimately hope for is that you will sign on and support Landmarks Illinois in their implementation. If you have questions or comments, please reach out to Bonnie with your questions. We will be hosting a Preservation Snapshots lecture in the fall on September 30th to address these questions. Bonnie's contact information is listed on the slide here and on our website at landmarks.org. I'd really like to, at this moment, thank all of the task force members for their commitment and vital contributions to the process. Also, Julie Carpenter, our office manager, for her organizational support of this task force, and Bonnie for her research and synthesis of the task force work. Now let me turn the program back over to Bonnie for a brief annual report.
Thank you very much, Will. And it is wonderful to be with you, our members and supporters, for this very important milestone of 50th anniversary annual meeting. The annual meeting is something that I really look forward to every year because it's my opportunity to show you what we were able to accomplish because of your support. You, our members, our donors, are part of every effort and success that I'm going to mention today. And I encourage you to discover much more in our annual report. I can't cover it all. And the annual report is available on our website right now on the Who We Are About Us page, if you go to the tabs. Now, like the annual report, these highlights are organized according to our 4 organizational values. And those values are education, stewardship, innovation, and empowering and improving lives. So I'm going to go through them according to those values. So under innovation, as you heard, we'll just brief you on our guiding principles, which we have already begun to integrate into our work. And what you saw there on the slide were the 5 guiding principles, but I can tell you there's so much more to them. There's a preamble that you can see, as well as bullet points under each one of them and a set of definitions. So there's much more for you to read to understand the direction that we're going. So I truly encourage you to go to our website to take a look at the full breadth of the guiding principles. Now, in July of 2020, we partnered with nonprofit Chicago Regional Organizing for Anti-Racism to host a critical cultural competency training for our board, our staff, and our volunteers. Now, understanding implicit bias and recognizing it within Landmarks Illinois is imperative to our ability to deliver our programs justly and equitably. And this coming year, we'll continue this process with anti-racism training and self-evaluation through a new committee that is going to be devoted to this work. So I'm excited to share that as we go. Discussions with our 50th anniversary task force around equity led us to a controversial decision to sign the memorandum of agreement for the proposed Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. Now, we were the only preservation organization to do so. And we made that difficult decision to sign on to the Section 106 process because we believed it was the equitable decision. You can read our statement about why and how we made that decision on our website on the press room page, or you can feel free to, of course, reach out to me with any questions. Now, the guiding principles also influenced the reevaluation of the skill sets that we felt we needed on our board of directors as well. To implement the principles, we need more expertise around civil rights, environmental design, as well as community organizing around our board table. So the slate of new board members that you just elected, thank you very much, brings this expertise to our board discussions. So thank you very much for electing this excellent slate of board members. And beyond this transformational work, we also wanted to have a party to celebrate our 50th anniversary. This is an event worth celebrating. Of course, we're doing this during the pandemic. So we celebrated virtually with our event that was called 50 Forward in March. And that echoed by calling it 50 Forward, both our look back as well as our look forward. So if you were not able to participate in that event, which was free, we encourage you to go to our YouTube page where you can find the entire program as well as the individual videos that we showed throughout the program. So I hope that you will check that out. And this included the voices of our Landmarks Illinois influencers, as we call them, who were honored at this event. Now, these 20 influencers are people who have shaped or will continue to shape the preservation field. Now, please learn more about these 20 wonderful individuals, again, by going to the website. I'm a broken record, but I'm going to keep turning you back to that excellent resource at landmarks.org. Now, you've heard from one of our influencers today, Sandra Rand, our board chair, just to let you know. Ann Puatinen, our Director of Development and Engagement, and I have been in the quiet phase of fundraising for support for our 50th anniversary campaign. Now, that campaign has a $270,000 goal to provide support for a series of things: future community engagement meetings, market research, communications consulting on key messages and brand strategy, how we communicate preservation, Also anti-racism, equity, diversity, and inclusion and accessibility work and consulting with us on that, as I just mentioned, as well as working on strategic planning since our existing strategic plan ends in 2021. Now, this work is going to continue from this year, 2021, all the way through 2023. And if you're interested in making a gift to help all of this important work or to learn more about it, please feel free to reach out to Ann Poitinen or myself. Our email addresses are on our website. And I was very honored this year in 2020 to receive one of the James Marston Fitch Charitable Foundation Mid-Career Fellowships to create a preservation relevancy guidebook that will be published on the Landmarks Illinois website later this year. And this was all part of our work as part of the 50th Anniversary Task Force. I conducted 130 interviews with people nationwide, both inside and outside of preservation practice, about the field's future. To inform this guidebook as well as create a bold vision for Landmarks Illinois' future. Now, under education, in addition to celebrating our 50th anniversary, we have been busy growing our existing programs as well as creating new ones, because evolution is part of any anniversary. Lisa DiChiera, our advocacy director, pursued our Women Who Built Illinois survey in collaboration with our partners AIA Illinois and Chicago Women in Architecture Foundation. Today, the survey includes information on 100 women architects, engineers, contractors, and developers, and it recognizes their contribution to Illinois' built environment, which really hadn't been recognized previously. So you'll see this survey coming later on our website in the months ahead. Now, speaking of databases, you can also check out the improvements that we've made to our Suburban Cook County Recent Past Resources database on our website, which is a project that we've worked on with the students at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago for over a decade now. And they have great illustrations, great photos of all the recent past resources in Suburban Cook County. So please check that out. And in 2018, we launched our reinvestment program, which envisioned a multi-layered toolbox that includes training opportunities, our grants programs, our easements program, and a low interest loan program. We've been working since then to launch the loan program, and we're excited to announce our first loan likely in August. So stay tuned for that exciting news coming soon. We've also offered 2 virtual training opportunities this year. Last July, we provided a state of the real estate and construction industry by our Real Estate and Building Industries Council, or RBIC for short. And in January, we had a terracotta masonry restoration training with our partners at the International Masonry Institute and the Tuck Pointers Local 1 District Council. So stay tuned for information, again, coming very soon, about our next RBIC educational seminars, which are going to be held in July. Now, we also have our Preservation Snapshots lectures, which are now being offered virtually. Very easy to attend. These lectures are hosted monthly each spring and fall at the lunch hour. And we'll continue to host them virtually. And I hope you'll continue to join us to take an in-depth look at preservation topics. Our next lecture is on July 7th, where we're covering information about our COVID-19 organizational relief grants and several of the nonprofits that received that grant. So I hope you'll join us. Now, at our 2021 Most Endangered Historic Places list was announced on May 5th to a very large virtual audience. The thematic listing of the Green Book sites received significant media attention as we work to assemble a survey of these sites with our nonprofit partner Route History in Springfield. We need your help. We need people who are willing to help us go out and look at the more than 250 sites that were in the Green Book over the 30 years it was published, and help us to see if they're still extant at this point, if they're still existing. So if you want to sign up to help us with that effort, which you can do from Google Earth, you can contact Frank Butterfield to assist us, and we would welcome your help. Also, our 2021 Most Endangered Sites included properties that are in need of preservation-minded buyers and developers, and that includes the James R. Thompson Center in Chicago. And we continue to work with a large coalition of partners on its sale to a developer that would reuse and not throw away this important postmodern building determined eligible for the National Register. And for those that are here in Chicago today, there's actually a rally starting at 4 o'clock at the Thompson Center if you want to come out and support the preservation of this building. We hope you'll join us. Now, there's far too many advocacy efforts, over 200, excuse me, not 20, 200 that are ongoing at any one time for me to cover in any brief annual report that I give. So I truly encourage you to review our free monthly e-blast, which covers our advocacy work. And to sign up for that, you just go to the bottom of our webpage and put in your email address and you'll get our email blast. I hope you'll join us. But there are a couple advocacy efforts I would like to cover. They're very important, some successes as well as where we're still finding challenges. So in July of 2020, the Illinois Appellate Court issued a favorable opinion in our favor for Landmarks Illinois' ongoing lawsuit to protect and prevent the demolition of the Rock Island County Courthouse. Now, though the building still remains at risk, we are dedicated to continue our fight to preserve it. In September of 2019, going back a little bit further, we put on our most endangered historic places list the Frank Lloyd Wright designed Booth Cottage in Glencoe, and I'm pleased to report that during this fiscal year, the building was moved to a new property to ensure its preservation. Now, two Landmarks Illinois 2018 most endangered sites, the Shelbyville Chautauqua and the Freeport Tabernacle, are both on the path to preservation after facing years of neglect and possible demolition. This is such a success since those buildings can be very difficult in order to find reuses. So we're so pleased and congratulate Frank on his work there. In October, the City of Chicago approved updates to an ordinance to create special character overlay districts that provide enhanced building design guidelines for architecturally unique neighborhoods here in Chicago. Now, Landmarks Illinois has been advocating for these changes to the ordinance, more commonly known as neighborhood conservation districts, since 2014, and that's Suzanne German's work. So congratulations to her. And our legislative advocacy continued as well. We worked with AIA Illinois, our longtime partner, to extend the River Edge Redevelopment Zone State Historic Tax Credit and also improve the language of the Illinois Historic Preservation Tax Credit. So I'm so proud to announce that the governor signed the bill to extend the River Edge Redevelopment Zone State Historic Tax Credit for another 5 years. So congratulations to all of the partners involved. We're so proud to have worked with them on that, including a large coalition of mayors. Now, going forward to our next category, we continue to work day to day with many partners to advance the preservation, protection, and stewardship of our vital historic places as part of our stewardship value. Now, this includes successful local and national designation efforts for the following notable sites, just to mention a few. In Springfield, the 1908 race riot site was added to the African American Civil Rights Network. In downtown Rock Island, the downtown was added to the National Register of Historic Places thanks to the work of Skyline Council member Erica Ruggiero, who is a principal with McGuire, Agleski and Associates, who wrote the National Register nomination. And in Chicago, the Miracle House in Galewood, the Ken Nordine House in Edgewater, and the Halsted Willow Gateway in Lincoln Park were all added as local landmarks. And during the last year, Landmarks Illinois also worked to continue elevating underrepresented stories, of Illinois' Black history. And beyond our work in Springfield that I've already mentioned with Black history, with the 1908 race riot site and our work with Route History, as well as the Green Book sites all across the state, we have worked proudly here in Chicago with the Muddy Waters Mojo Museum and Chandra Cooper, the head of the board there, on collaborative fundraising on the proposed museum for the Blues Musicians House here in North Kenwood. We have also been working proudly with film producer and journalist Layla Wills to preserve places that are part of the Black Panther Party history here in Chicago. Now, our Landmarks Illinois Richard H. Driehaus Foundation Preservation Awards were in October of 2020 and celebrated preservation successes statewide. Our virtual program included inspiring video stories that you can go back and watch again on our YouTube page and also share them if people need to see why preservation matters and how it's done. Those videos just show the inspiration that's created around a successful preservation project. Now, I'd like to recognize our steadfast benefactor, Richard Driehaus, who's passed away unexpectedly in March. We were all shocked and saddened by his loss as someone who played a continual and pivotal role in Landmarks Illinois' important work, as well as the preservation work nationally and internationally. He is deeply missed, And we are proud to be giving a tribute to Richard at our Richard H. Driehaus Foundation Preservation Awards this October. So I truly hope you will join us for that event, that actually in-person event. So you'll be getting information about that soon. And our final value, empowering people and improving lives. The Skyline Council of Landmarks Illinois, which is our Young and Emerging Leaders Committee, continued to provide helpful, meaningful, and fun programming despite the pandemic, with their annual trivia night to their third annual Heart Bombing, which they did in conjunction with Chicago's Roberts Temple Church of God in Christ. And we've also worked to share our resources widely and equitably this past year. Our board members, the Skyline Council members, and our emeritus board members all donated dozens of hours of pro bono services to provide free building assessments, engineering reports, and window surveys to our partner nonprofit organizations across the state. And through our grant programs, we have 3 at this point, we provided nearly $45,000 in seed grant money for capital grants and planning grants to 19 nonprofit organizations in 17 different communities across the state. Now, Landmarks Illinois raises money just to give it away. So we thank all of you as our members for helping us to raise this vital funding, because that seed money is so important to these small nonprofits to later leverage our resources to find other resources. So thank you again for the support you provide us for our grant programs. Now, I'm concluding my remarks with a very exciting announcement today. Landmarks Illinois has both the need, as you could hear, with all that we're doing, and the opportunity to expand our capacity. We recognize the need for dedicated operational leadership as I move forward into implementing the guiding principles even further and the strategic planning work that needs to be done. So I'm proud to announce that we are creating a Chief Operating Officer role that we are promoting Frank Butterfield into this position. Frank has radically expanded our field work across the state since his hire in 2013. He's definitely earned our respect, our trust, and he's worked very hard now for 5 years to demonstrate his capabilities to take on this new leadership position. So on behalf of the board and all of us on the staff, we congratulate Frank and want to ask him if he has any comments for us.
Thank you so much, Bonnie, and thank you to our board for this remarkable opportunity in creating this new leadership role. The demand for our knowledge and resources continues to grow as communities recover from the pandemic. Preservation can tell our nation's full story, bring renewed hope for vacant places, revitalize communities, and protect our environment. The opportunity is significant for preservation to be more meaningful and relevant in our state's future. Landmarks Illinois is meeting that challenge by improving the accessibility and efficiency of our resources. This new role of COO is dedicated to serving our expanding audience and supporting our team in bringing our vision to life. I'm excited to take on this new role at a critical point in our history. You may be asking what will happen to the Springfield office. We remain committed to having a Landmarks Illinois representative in the field, building upon our 8 years of investment in the downstate office. My former position is now open, and we ask for your help in sharing that job description that will be posted to the Landmarks Illinois website this week. Also, check out our social media pages for more announcements on this in the days ahead. People are the power behind Landmarks Illinois. That is our incredible staff. My colleagues deserve special recognition and a big virtual round of applause. Not only have we continued to provide and even expand our service during the pandemic, we've also planned and are implementing our 50th anniversary. Bonnie and I want to thank our colleagues for a remarkable year. With that, I'm pleased to turn the presentation back over to our chair, Sandra Rand, to conclude the program. Sandra?
Thank you so much, Frank, and congratulations. We all look forward to working with you in this new and exciting role. And as Frank has indicated, I too want to say a big thank you to the hardest working staff in the industry, and that is the staff and team of Landmarks Illinois. We could not do what we do without you. So, and I want to thank all of you, our dedicated and very generous supporters. Our impact is a direct result of your contributions for everything we do statewide here at Landmarks Illinois. This includes our remarkable list of annual corporate sponsors, which you're going to see on the screen. It is also my pleasure to recognize the members of our Louis Sullivan Society. The Louis Sullivan Society members are those who make an annual gift of $1,000 or more. We hope you will continue to support Landmarks Illinois as a member, or consider increasing your donations as well for that support. Now, if anyone else out there is interested in becoming a Louis Sullivan Society member, a monthly donor, or even a program sponsor, please contact Ann Poitnan, our Director of Development and Engagement. And yes, her information is on our website. For more information about all of those programs, again, full details are there. If you are not already a member, please join us in our mission of helping people save places for people for another 50 years. Although we regret not being with you in person, we have all learned that using Zoom allows us to have much more impact and an opportunity to chat with more of you throughout the state. So it also allows us not only the annual meeting interface, but many of our other ongoing events that are going to be made accessible to you as members. Our upcoming events will also be virtual, allowing you to sit back and participate in the comfort of your own home. We'll be sending out more information soon through our free email blasts and social media about all of our educational seminars, as Bonnie has mentioned, one of which is coming up in July, as well as our Preservation Award ceremony coming up in October, where again, we will be paying tribute to our beloved Richard Driehaus. To sign up for our free email blast, please go to the website and scroll to the bottom of the homepage and enter your email address. As you've heard today, we have done a lot, I mean a lot of work in the last year, but we've only scratched the surface here in this presentation today. We want to make sure you stay engaged and aware of the forward-thinking work we do all across this state. I encourage you to check out our full annual report, which is now available on the website in the About Us section. And of course, we will share it on all social media platforms and in our upcoming newsletter as well. So stay in touch. Now, with there being no other official business to discuss, the 50th annual meeting is now adjourned. And I'm giving you back some more of your time. It's only 12:41 today. But thank you all for joining us and your continued support of Landmarks Illinois. Please stay safe, hug your families, and be well. We look forward to seeing you again soon in person, anytime next year. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Sandra, I was just going to say, if anybody does have questions, this was an impromptu session. We are happy to stay on since we do have extra time to answer anyone's questions. So feel free to log off if you're, if you are satisfied and don't have any questions, but otherwise we will look to the chat, or if you raise your hand, we can also answer questions as well. So what I'm seeing in the chat are lots of congratulations to Frank Butterfield for his promotion to our Chief Operating Officer. We couldn't agree more. This is a wonderful opportunity. So I do see we have a couple of raised hands. I am going to go first to Jennifer Spence, our new board member. So Jennifer, I'm going to click allow you to talk. So you should be able to unmute yourself at this point.
Actually, I did not mean to raise my hand. I was clicking on the chat button. I'm sorry.
Not a problem. We welcome you very much to your new position. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having you. All right, our longtime member, Vince Daly, I'm going to go to you if you want to unmute. Vince, I saw you had your hand up, so I allowed you to unmute if you would like to. I'm going to ask you to unmute at this point. So feel free if you need to. Otherwise, I'm going to go to Sue Massey. Sue, do you have something that you would like to add?
Sorry, Bonnie, I didn't intend to hit that button either. But congratulations to Frank. I hope he's staying in Springfield. because we love having him live here with us.
Well, thank you. So I'll let Frank answer that question a little bit later. All right, Frank, do you want to answer that question now?
Sure. I mean, happy to. Sue, we are in the process of moving to Chicago, but with all of our ongoing legislative work, you saw the RERZ extension, and we really want to get the state historic tax credit both expanded and extended. You might be seeing more of me in Springfield than you bargained for, so I'll keep in touch.
All right, so thank you, everybody. I see, some of the raised hands, good explanation might have been for our vote on the board members, which is totally fine. So I'm going to go next to our good friend, Rachel Leibowitz, who's calling in from afar, but never far away from us. So Rachel, did you intend to add anything?
Well, congratulations, Frank, and congratulations to Landmarks Illinois for your brilliant idea to bring Frank in as COO. I had a question about the position that Frank leaves behind in Springfield. I'm thinking of so many talented graduate students that I have met either nearby at Cornell or here in my own program in Syracuse, and was wondering if the position will be posted soon. If you have any interest, particularly in students with landscape experience who may be looking at the built environment more holistically.
Certainly, Rachel, thank you for that question. And Frank, do you want to talk about what we've done and how we've renamed the position, what some of the parameters are? And I believe that Caitlin is intending to post it today if it's not already posted. So the job description is coming very soon for our new regional advocacy manager. Frank?
Yes, you can see the job post there in the chat. And Rachel, I like your use of the word holistic there, because that's a lot of what we were sort of thinking about of different ways to approach what we might think of as traditional preservation. So yes, we would love someone with a landscape expertise. We would love someone with housing advocacy expertise, or there's a lot of different skills that really could help us advance our work. And we want to find where those people are who could fill this role and meet them where they are, such that we are retitling the position a regional advocacy manager. They might be located in Springfield, but if there's the excellent candidate is in Peoria or in East St. Louis or in Rock Island, we are willing to locate the office there. So we want to have the best person who can serve the entire state, and that's how we sort of structured that position. Again, as you heard from our annual meeting, we want to be inclusive and expand what preservation means, and we are living that out in how we framed this job description.
Thank you, Frank. We also want to say, as you look at the job description, we've been very forthright about the salary and benefits. So we certainly want to be transparent in how we ensure a living wage at Landmarks Illinois. And we're also looking for candidates who would help to meet our guiding principles, which is to increase inclusion, diversity, and equity on our staff. So that includes not only skill sets, but location of people on our staff. We want gender diversity, racial diversity, age diversity. So please send our job position to those who have these skill sets. They don't need to have a preservation degree to be successful at being a preservationist. And I think many who are on this webinar know that you may be preservationists, but don't have a master's degree in that, for example, and are very successful as advocates. So it's important for us to diversify the skill sets on our staff to be an even stronger team. So I just want to pitch that, the person could have a preservation degree, but does not have to. And we also love life experience. We have not put in a requirement for any kind of degree, because we also value that life experience is equally as impressive and relevant as a university degree too. All right, so looking here, thank you very much. Thanks, Rachel. So I do not see any other raised hands at this time. Again, it is your choice if you want to stay on. We have a few more minutes if you have questions about any of our advocacy work, you know, the guiding principles, you know, the vision for the future of this organization after our 50th year. We are at your disposal. Otherwise, feel free to log off. We will not be offended if you do. We are trying to return time back to your day as well. So unless I see any raised hands or questions coming in the chat in the next minute or so, we'll assume that no one has any further questions for us. Sandra, while we're waiting, is there any statement that you would like to make on behalf of the board of directors about the direction that we're going as well?
Well, I think, you know, we have been made aware that we are receiving support throughout our network, whether it's our actual sponsors or board members or advocacy group members or what have you, what Skyline Council or the Emeritus Board or what have you. So it is resonating with individuals. We recognize that this, in fact, is going to be a challenging time, but it is all going to be very exciting. It's about change. We are not undoing or ceasing to do the things we've done in the past. We're simply adding on. So all the more reason why we absolutely have to augment our staff and what have you. So it's about a greater and deeper penetration into this world of what we have known in the past as preservation and what we will do to expand it, shape it, mold it, grow it in the future. So we're looking for any and everyone who wants to be a part of that initiative.
Thank you. Very well said, Sandra, and thank you for your leadership. I know that before we go, I want to welcome our returning board members and thank them for their deep service, as well as give a really warm welcome to our new board members who are helping to shape this work going forward. So I'm eager to work with you, as are the staff and the existing board. Thank you to all the members who support us every year. We have seen incredible amount of support come in this year during the pandemic. Thank you for recognizing that preservation is vital, it's necessary, it's imperative, and you make this work continue and our ability to grow to meet the demand for our services as well. I hope you'll join me. Just one last pitch for our Snapshots lecture. Again, July 7th is the next one. And then I will be giving the Snapshots lecture in September. I think it is September 23rd. Maria, don't hurt me if I got the date wrong. It's either the 22nd or 23rd. We will be posting this September to talk about our guiding principles and how we intend to implement them, and then to actually socialize them with you, our members, to get your feedback about them. So with that, I do not see any other chat or hands up, but my goodness, 58 of you stayed on, which is incredible to hear this. We are definitely going to give you 10 minutes back in your day. So thank you so much. And if you do have any questions, you can reach out to myself, you can reach out to Frank or any other member of our team, and we would be pleased to help you. But otherwise, as Sandra said, thank you very much from all of us for your support and for a very successful year. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Happy summer.
Thank you. September 30th is the Snapshots. Thank you, Maria. All right, we are going to sign off then.